Hey everybody, Roxabox90 here with my first Commander 2013 deck. So I may be getting more, maybe not, but we have a Mind Seize deck and we're going to be opening it up on camera for your viewing pleasure. So I'll actually be doing partly a deck tech upgrade and also a review of the deck itself and the packaging and everything, since this is the first one I'm seeing. So I kind of like how they put it together. It definitely is less clumsy and bulky than the last time, but it's placed around the plastic here. It's just not all that awesome, but Mind Seize is awesome. So let's take a look. So we start out with the oversized foils, or foil, in the front plastic. And we have a Untitled Scourge, which looks very nice. I'm not such a fan of the big cards. I don't actually use them myself, but I know there are those that do, and they're a nice collectible item. With Nekusar, the oversized. So we got Nekusar, the Mind Razor, right in the front of the box, looking very nice in full art foil. And I presume the Thraxamander full art foil is right behind that. There we go. So as you can see, there's a line, factory line foil across it, which I'm never a fan of, but I don't think that's considered damage to the foil since you can't see it face on. So it's a very slight scratching from the factory. Anyway, those are the oversized foils. Now the deck itself, so it comes in a box. Nice box, actually. You can probably put the deck in sleeves back in here, which is something the last product didn't let us do, so I like that. You can actually use it as a storage container if you need to. We have the Commander, whatever they call these things, pamphlets and the like. So they have the full deck list as well. Looks kind of neat. Nothing overly special. You guys have seen these before. They come in regular decks, and then the how to play. So cool stuff. Packaging I think is much better. It's not quite as useless as the last time. So we start out with Jeleva, Untitled Scourge as our main selling commander. Jeleva will probably be taking over for Thraxamander in my own Grixis deck, because I think she fits the heavy instant sorcery theme a lot better than Thraxamander does currently. And yeah, so we got Jeleva, Untitled Scourge, looking very nice. And she's a really interesting, powerful commander. Very cool. So we'll run through the deck fairly quickly, and then I'll give my own thoughts about the deck and a general review if possible. Augur Bolus is interesting utility. I wouldn't use him except in 1v1 builds, but it's interesting they chose him for this deck. Fog Banks, preventative damage. I'm not such a huge fan of these, but given that you want this deck as a control deck, it can definitely block stuff. Nightscape Familiar is always awesome for Grixis, makes your stuff cost less. Baleful Strix is our first money card of this set. Baleful Strix is a huge legacy staple, and it's a really powerful card. It's also really good in Cube, and really any limited format that it could work in. Very, very awesome. So that's a money card, actually. Nivix Guildmage is just a lot of fun. The copying is the main reason he's good as a utility in EDH, so very nice choice. Guard Gamoza, I'm not a fan of. I would actually, since you have 3 mana cost, I would honestly choose Fogbank over it, but I guess they're trying to put more control stuff. Gutter Snipe is really nice, and it's actually, I think it is used in, I know it does seize play, I'm just not 100% sure where. Very good card for a control deck that's instant sorcery heavy. Echo Mage is rare, 3 for a level up guy. If you guys remember from Rise of Eldrazi, level up was an interesting ability that didn't work for a lot of stuff. So it's nice to see this guy is a copying of instants and sorceries, which can get out of hand with Jeleva. So very nice choice by Wizards. Jade's Archivist is pretty much just a windfall on a stick, which is not bad. Definitely interesting. And now the real money card of the set, True Name Nemesis. This guy is what's going to move Mind Seize, and this is what's made the set what's so sought after. This is a very expensive, awesomely powerful legacy card. And yeah, there's nothing else to say about it. It's very awesome. Vampire Nighthawk. It's always really good. I don't know in EDH if it's quite as good. I don't think in this deck it's necessarily so awesome, but I like the Death Touch. It definitely prevents a lot of Voltron, so maybe it is a solid pick. Vizelling is alright. I'm not such a fan of it, but it's not a bad card. Terra Ravager. Now we get a little bit of filler because this is Commander, so they can't give us every good card. Diviner Spirit's one of the new cards. I really like the flavor and the art. I don't think it's that awesome a card, though. Demonic Wall. We just had this reprinted. I like the original art better, so thank you for keeping that. Hooded Horror. Again, kind of generic, nothing. Nekusar is great. I really like the design of this guy. Having an Underworld Dreams kind of commander is very cool. So he's second mythic. Charmbreaker Devils, instant sorcery play. I don't think it really matters. He's just a big beater. Same thing with Uyo. Uyo copies stuff, but the bouncing lands back, I think, is a penalty for control deck when you need the land, so I was never a fan of Uyo. Thraxamunder is Thraxamunder. I've talked about him in my deck tech. He's a really powerful creature on his own. As a commander, he can be a really strong Voltron. He's just a great 7-cost beater. Baleful Force is another new card we got. Beginning of your upkeep, you draw a card and lose 1 life. It's very expensive, but cool. Soul Ring, we know. Wayfarer's Bauble is just a ramp. Armless Sphere's ramp. Swiftfoot Boots. They cut out all the rules text. It's much smaller now. Very interesting. It's a great card for protecting your commander. Obelisk of Gris is good for ramp. Temple Bell is, I don't even know why it's in here. Eye of Doom. Very cool. O-Ring would be a card I'd put in here if you have Eye of Doom, just because they work so well together. So that would be one of the cards I'd recommend to synergize. Mirari works really well in instant sorceries, which is what this deck is about. Curse of Inertia, I don't like any of the curses. I would probably pull them all out if it was me. Creatures can't attack unless control pays 2. Propaganda, this is a new art, but Propaganda is really strong for control decks. Great. Curse, again, I don't like the curses really. Most of the time, Spiteful Visions. It works really well with Nekusar. Really messes around with the damage of drawing and stuff. I like it. Instants and sorceries cost 2 less to cast. You're helping your opponent, but if your deck's the instant sorcery deck, it's going to help you more. Price of Knowledge, really cool, flavorful, a little over-expensive, but it's fun, interesting. The problem is it gives all players no maximum hand size. That keeps it alive, but it also not really going to keep it alive. Vision Skynes, you don't want to help other people draw cards. Take this out, put in better card draw than this. Soul Manipulation, it's a versatile counter spell, but it's too limited for what it does. Corrosive Charm is just freaking awesome. I love the new art, very cool. Grixis Charm again, both of them are really powerful. Sudden Spoiling, great Wrath Effect. Dismiss, Illusions, Gambits. These are interesting cards. I would cut out Dismiss. It's just too limited to counterspell. Put in regular counterspell. Wild Ricochet is a lot of fun. There are cheaper double spells though. Annihilate, it only destroys non-black. You want to have as universal. I would probably put even Murder in here. Hero's Downfall, Murder. Opportunity, it's instant speed, so it draws a lot of cards, but it does cost 6. Maybe the X Blue Sun Zenith or those sort of ramp spells might be better because it's an interesting card. Cool art. Starstorm, really, really cool. I like the new art actually better than the Onslaught art. Very good Wrath Effect. Strategic Planning, it's alright. It's too narrow. I would pull this out unless you're playing 1v1, to be honest. It works better in other builds. Infest is too limited. Black Sun Zenith is clearly a better choice. Tempt with Reflection. The Tempts I like a lot. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's a great card, great pick. Fissure Vent is also really narrow. I would just put in a regular Destroy Land. Incendiary Command. Commands are really good. I'd put the black one in here instead. I don't even... Actually, it might be in here, but if it's not, then it's better than Incendiary. Thesis, we're getting better, but it's still a 7-cost removal. Put Murder in instead. It's just better. Cruel Ultimatum is awesome. Decree of Pain is awesome. Army of the Damned is a lot of fun. I don't know if it's quite good for a control deck. You're not really trying to do tribal, so I don't really know why it's in here. You can put in better large-scale effects than this. Prosperity, everyone draws cards is never a good idea. Don't help your opponents with card draw. Otherwise you lose. Take out Subscribing. Molten Disasters and Uncountable Wrath. Very good. Lands. Akum Refuge. Obviously you can put in the Scryland, for example, will be better than this. And you can put in Shocks, Duels, etc. Jukabog is nice for removing graveyards. It's actually a really solid land choice. Command Tower is great. Acropolis. Normal Duels. We got some regular duels going on. I don't like the bounce lands. I would probably pull them out for, again, even things like Guild Gates, because if someone destroys this, you're down a land and you lost your duel. So I'm never such a fan. Then we got some more usual stuff. Opal Palace is nice, interesting inclusion. I gave my thoughts about that card already. Temple of the False Gods is going to help a lot. You need that mana ramp in this deck. The Vivid set your deck, and then you have your basics. So all in all, it's a really nice deck. I would probably put in things, larger scale effects. Maybe I'd put in Rakdos Return. That's a card this deck is sorely missing. It's just really powerful card, and with all the doubling going on, you could hit multiple players with that. That's a huge effect. Another really great card would be Spell Twine, which is really insane, and with instant sorceries, it works really, really well. You get 2 players. Things like Bribery, of course, would be insane. Acquire is also really, really good. Basically ramp up the instant sorceries. A lot of them in this deck are fairly weak or help your opponents. Card draw, you have Blue Sun Zenith, you have Burst of Genius, maybe. I think that's what it was called. And in terms of your own card draw, you could also put Concentrate, would also be an instant interesting card draw. Factor Fiction, of course. Steam Augury, Tidings are all really, really good card draw options that are better than a lot of the ones in this deck currently. Though they try to make it a more friendly format in Commander 2013. Usually when you play multiplayer, you don't want to help people with card draw. That is probably your worst thing. The only exception maybe would be the Nekusar, because your deck would build around the fact that you're helping your opponents, which means Nekusar should be your commander, not Jaleva. And again, you can build the deck based on how you want. You can put in a lot more Underworld Dreams, you can put in Thraxamunder. There's really nothing to do special for him besides for maybe Cavern of Souls to make him uncounterable if he's your commander, but Nekusar, you definitely need, like, you can use things like Howling Mind, Underworld Dreams. There are cards that really help in terms of doing mass damage and making people draw cards. Also, another card is Force Fruition. Combine that with this guy and you basically win the game. So you play him turn 5 and then you play Force Fruition turn 6 and everyone suddenly is going to lose the game. It's really, really powerful. So those are my general thoughts. Overall, I think this is one of the strongest. It has one of the most valuable cards in the sets going forward. So even though it's the most expensive, I think this is probably their strongest deck they've built so far, even more than Kaalia in terms of the card strength, the money, and the overall build style. I really like this deck a lot. Out of the box, I would probably guess it's the strongest, but I'm hoping to have a couple of out-of-the-box games with other Commander 2013 decks. Let me know if you want to see that. Tell me down below in the comment section what you think of the deck, my upgrades, your upgrades. If you want to see that sort of gameplay, leave those comments below. Tap the like button. Let me know you want to see more Commander 2013 openings. And as always, Roxabox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.